Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday, right? Welcome to the Grounds with Giles and Jones. I'm Giles and he's Jones, where we talk about everything from peanut butter to politics, but
no politics.
Yeah, no politics. That just never ends well. And, we just like to, even if you're two crazy dudes like us just talking bullshit, politics is never fun. Everything else you can kind of touch on. But so how was your week, man?
Good week, crazy week. Let's give a shout out to our good friends over at Natural Therapy Wellness Center, big supporters of the station. www.mchenrymassage.com, 815-385-8190. If you're stressed, they'll be blessed. Right behind me, JH Events and Flowers. Of course, JH Events and Flowers. For all your flowers, $5 Friday. He said, he should, she should, all good stuff there. So
he said, she said.
That's it. Check them out at jheventsandsflowers.com. All right. Today on the grounds, big shout out to our guy Cappuccino.
Good morning.
Cap, hope you're doing good. Had a little procedure yesterday.
Yes.
So hopefully you're doing well.
If you need anything, give a shout out.
That's it.
We're here for you, buddy.
That's it. Of course, I think his name now is Andrea after that procedure. Not the procedure.
He's not Italian no more.
It's not the procedure he had. All right. Listen, check out StreamYard. Uncle Pete, come join us. Today's 20 questions. We got some questions in the inbox. We're gonna, just boom. Now here's the deal, right? You have a minute. You have a minute to answer them. These are just. It looks like these a lot of these questions are about, I don't know, your dreams.
Is this a quiz offline or something?
No. Oh boy, he says. All right, here we go. So the first question up, Scott, today is.
Are we grilling me today on 20?
Well, I'll answer them too, but
okay.
I'm asking the question. So you.
All
go.
right, let's go.
Okay.
See if I'm up.
Do you feel like you have to succeed? Do you feel like you have to succeed? If so, why do you think you feel that way? Do you feel like, not think, but do you feel like you have to succeed?
Well, that's an interesting one.
I told you these
are. I have to.
Yeah. Do you feel like it? Not think. Do you
feel?
Yeah.
Wow, you're getting emotional on me. Oh, wow.
Good one, Trey. I told you these are good, right? Yeah.
So the show is going to be a lot of dead
airspace.
Today.
No. Here, listen. I'll answer the first one. No. Do I feel like I have to succeed? No. I feel like I have to try. I feel like I have to push hard. I feel like I have to stay open. But a lot of my life has been failure after failure after failure after failure. I think I always strive to succeed. But don't ever think I feel like I have to. I feel like I have to do good. I feel like I have to, support my family, support my wife. But I'm not driven to succeed. Last week on In the Know with Steph and Joe, they talked about tasks, and I'm like, listen. There are times when you can get 70% of a task done, and that's good enough.
Yeah. Right,
to which then the panel comes back going, what are you, crazy? No, you have to get 100. You see what I'm saying? So depends on the situation, depends on what you're doing. So you just remodeled an entire home. Right. And
I was just thinking exactly when you brought that up.
Right.
The 70% rule. I couldn't leave well enough alone. Right.
Correct.
The house is beautiful. I finished it up, and I'm like, that garage floor just looks like a garage floor. You know what I mean? So I spent a couple extra hours putting down nice paint on the garage floor. And so for me, the 70% rule really is
out the window. So you feel
right.
Success is.
I don't feel like I have to succeed. I want to succeed. Right. And I want to succeed.
What's the difference? That's the feeling, right? You feel like you have to. Want and have, is there different? I mean, right. I don't think so.
I mean, I definitely want to succeed. Mm-hmm. I don't have to succeed. But I want to. And therefore, with your comments, I don't give up. I fail all the time, right? I mean, I fail nonstop, but I keep going, right? Because that's the thing. I mean, if you fail, that's good. You learn. You know, people always say whatever. He failed 1,000 times, make life. I'll keep going. But that one really, when you say feel.
Right, that's a whole
right,
different.
Right.
To me, that's different than think.
Right. Yeah. Well, right, and want to. Like, I want to do things, right, and I want to succeed. And obviously, what my succeeding is, what your success is different for all of us, right? But yeah, it's one of those things. You're kind of like, wow, all right, I feel differently about this one, but I want to do it for a number of reasons.
So the word "feel" in there really throws it into a different. Because I think we all want to win, right? We want to succeed.
Right.
I mean, I think most people do. Right. You know, but do you feel like you have to, right?
Yeah, I mean, for like me, at some points in my life, I definitely felt like I had to succeed because of my upbringing and where I was at, you know, and what the things that were taught to me, and you know, oh, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to keep up with the Joneses, no pun intended. You know what I mean? You
don't have to run hard for that.
But you know what? And that was the thing that pushed on you, and that was an outside influence.
Yeah.
The inside influence obviously is the much more important one of it all, and that's where the feel comes in. That's why want was driven by probably some of the ways I was brought up in the comments and the people and stuff like that. But feeling, wow, that's a really good one. I'm gonna ponder all this shit. Now you just messed my day up, dude. I'm trying to relax. I've been coming off 15, 16-hour days working on this house. I gotta relax.
All right. Next question.
How do I do that?
Next question. How do you keep your feelings from clouding your decision making? How do you keep your feelings, still in that feel area, from clouding your decision making? That's terrible radio right there. Dead air.
I said this whole show is going to be freaking dead air until I can.
Well, you're thinking way too deep. You're thinking way too deep.
Throw it at me one more time.
How do you keep your feelings from clouding your decision making?
Well, I guess it depends on the decision and what it has to do with. I mean, if it's business, generally business doesn't involve feelings for me.
For you. Okay.
It does to a certain point, but more so decisions that deal with friends, family, that type of thing. I generally look at a little bit more. I mean, I never want to hurt anyone's feelings or do anything that's wrong, but at the same token,
So how do you keep your feelings from clouding your decision making? How do you keep from that? I can tell you, hey, Don.
Good morning. I don't know how if I keep
Don,
them from it. I mean,
let's see what Don says. Don says write down the issue and the pros and cons. So you're the old school. On the left side of the paper, let's do the pros. On the right side of the paper, let's do the cons. And whichever one outweighs, if I have more cons, it's a no-go. If I've got more pros, it's a thumbs up.
I mean, right? It's not a bad way to do things, because then it's written for me. Writing things down makes it a little bit easier to do and pay attention to. But
people who know me, and this probably drives Cappuccino crazy, right? People who know me know that I don't. My feelings. I wear them on my sleeve. My feelings are what drives me. You know, and I know Drew. We're a pretty good business balance, because he tries to take emotion out of the problem. You know, listen, I don't. And then there are times where I make that decision because of the way that I feel or whatever, and I go back and go, fuck. All right, I let my feelings get away. So to be honest with you, I don't keep my feelings, because my feelings is who I am, right? People are like, oh man, you got a good vibe about you, whatever. But you know me well enough. If I'm off, if I'm having a bad day, I wear my feelings on my sleeve, right? Yeah. So Drew's the same way.
Right. But so take it. Let you say that you wear it on your feeling. You do the same thing like when you're dealing with customers.
Absolutely.
Really?
So, oh my God, I've gotten in so many arguments with customers because they're idiots and they upset me.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
God, what happens when the customer's always right?
No, the customer. I hate people generally, right? I love them all the same. Good morning, Pops. You can't make good decisions without consulting your emotions, he says. I agree with that. 100%. You and I are in the same boat. Listen, I don't. And I know it drives people around me crazy, right? I mean, I'll blow up on people because I let my emotions and my feelings
right. But so what? I mean, I totally agree with this comment, right? But it's a situational thing, right? If I'm going, well, this house, right? It's not there's no really emotion involved in it. It's a business decision, and I'm going to be who I am. You know, I'm going to go in. I'm going to pay what I want to pay, and I'm going to look at it for that. For me, it's not really emotionally driven to decide to do that, right? I'm not looking at how it's going to affect other people and people in my life, other than the obvious fact of why maybe I'm doing it to gain some income or some, like that. But I don't. Emotion pretty much is out of that decision for me, because a lot of times if I let emotion sneak into a business decision, I'll probably screw it up, right? Because then and me, I tend to overthink things. Right, I'll go to the 10th domino instead of the second one. So that's why for me, emotion, it's going to be situational, 100%. So, but it's definitely a very good comment.
And Don says, okay, consider your emotions, but don't make your decisions just on them. Well, it's easy for you to say.
Well, yeah, you got to look at all the different factors involved in it, right? And
Pops comes back and says, our feelings are often decisive in what we want and what we do, whether it is devising a scientific program, buying a home, or choosing a partner. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then Don rolls back in and says, emotions are often your instincts, your gut feel, and I try not to ignore that. Or,
well, if you look at it from that standpoint,
or it could be the bad taco that you had last night.
So a gut feeling is emotional.
Yep.
Right. But so like when I went to, let's use this house because you brought that up, right? When I went to do it, the gut feeling was I'm stupid if I don't buy this place. Right. But it wasn't, the emotion in there for me wasn't anything that was, when I think emotion, it's, good, bad, up, down. But for me, the emotion was, there wasn't an emotional decision in that one. That was purely business driven. But my gut, if you want to look at your gut as being emotional, my gut said, like I said, do it. It's like walking by a $20 bill and not picking up. You're kind of an idiot. So in that respect, it was definitely a gut emotional decision.
That's the empty. That's an empty, the gut feeling. Colon blow. Yeah. All right. All right. Next question. Here you go. And again,
killing me. My brain's just starting to work.
We're not diving in on one of too many questions. This is 20 questions. We're going to roll through it.
So please jump in as soon as you got. If you got something, go at us, because you know us. We'll jump 3 different directions.
Next question. What's the best way to keep your eye on future results? What's the best way to keep your eye on future results? That's my best game show read on that.
I was just gonna say, I felt like we were on like what was it? Yeah. All right. Best way to keep your eye on future results. Well, I mean, I guess what results are you looking for? I mean, want to use the house as an example?
Sure, you're staying in
keeping my eye on the. Well, it's something obviously that's right now that's been a really big part of my life. But for me, just keep an eye on future results is just actually writing down in the beginning a plan and a list of what I need to do, and then following that.
So a project management checklist.
Oh yeah.
Task.
I got a big piece of 2x cardboard like this, and the house, and it was 80 different things, and I mark it off and making sure I'm keeping on track.
Yeah.
And doing things in a proper order, so I'm not doing things 2 or 3 times. But
Don says have that result front and center in your mind each day. All right. Yeah. Where I was going to, Don, is kind of that same thing. Is I'm like, you got to kind of reverse engineer it. Hey, here's the goal, and then let's walk it backwards. In the business world, for those results, and then I think you have to stay present. Okay, to that task list. Okay, what needs to get knocked out today to get that future result?
Right. Prioritizing.
Without that, I think you stray too far from course. And Cap says the same thing. Says stay focused on your goal. And I mean, if you come into DDOE, we've got whiteboards, we've got lists, we've got over at Aegis Solutions, who I'm working with now. is same thing, man. We've got lists and punch lists and to-dos, and because we have so many projects going on that it's like boom, boom, boom. Okay, where are we at on this one? Where are we at on this one?
Right.
But I also think that it has to be your list. I can't walk into your house that you're doing and you've got this punch list. And I'm like, why the fuck are you doing it this way? Right. I mean, it has to make sense to me.
Right. It has to make sense to the person
right?
that put it down.
Yeah.
Right. Because we all work a little bit differently. But like with the house, for instance, you know, it's a step-by-step process, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna put down new flooring and then paint. Right.
Well, you shouldn't.
Well, yeah, you should. Right.
You and I would.
Right. Well, just it'll cause you more work.
They may do it that way in Texas.
You can, yeah, you can do that, but it costs you more time.
Yeah.
Right. So having that list and prioritizing what has to get done and what needs to get done.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing for me: needs versus wants every day. I have to do this stuff every day. I want to get this done every day, and keeping that in front of me is important, because if you don't have some type of guide, you know, you're trying to hit your goals is going to be really, really tough.
All right. Fair enough.
Self-honest.
All right. Next question. Following your dreams might take unexpected turns, but those are the exciting and memorable challenges of living the dream. What has been the best unexpected turn for you? Following your dreams might take unexpected turns, but those turns are the exciting and memorable challenges of living the dream. What has been the best unexpected turn for you?
Well, I guess are you talking emotionally, mentally, financially? You know what I mean? Physically? I mean, if you're talking,
you're thinking way too deep.
Well, and that's the problem with me.
Just answer the question.
That's not that easy to answer. You go ahead and throw yours out there, because for me, it's not.
The best unexpected turn is for me. Living the dream brought me to the land of Lincoln, right? And you know, I was a corporate guy, and they let me go. I drank the Kool-Aid. I had done everything. They let me go. So we put everything in our house into a U-Haul truck. Had a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. And we came out to Illinois. Didn't even have a place to live. Didn't have a place for the new business yet. None of that. And we struck out, right? We were like the Beverly Hillbillies. By the end of our first day, we had an apartment rented. End of the second day, we emptied the truck. And the rest is history. But I think that was the best unexpected turn. Was, you know, we grew up as Gen Xers saying, hey, listen, go to school for get your degree, and then work someplace for 30 years and then retire. That's the American dream. Along that way, you're going to buy a house, have 2.5 kids, a dog, a cat, a white fence, right? And that's what we were brought up on. And that unexpected turn of them, that issue with that company that that I bought in,
right? Company man,
right. And then for them to go, idiot, right, and take it away. That was the best unexpected turn for my dream, right? So yeah,
right,
absolutely.
Nothing. I mean, the unexpected.
And then there's been a shit ton of them since then. Trust me, people.
Right. But
I
can't think
people
of one
died on my watch. I mean, it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of one super big one that really stands out for me. Nothing's really. I don't know. I feel like I've been focused.
It's good.
Let's go to the next one.
No unexpected turns. Listen, you're going to want to purchase Scott's book on how I've run the perfect life with no bumps or bruises.
Oh, dude, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
good unexpected turn, getting to move back to Dallas. Well, for you, maybe not for Dallas.
Right.
All right. All right, we'll move on. That's what we've learned today.
Right.
What we've learned today is Scott's dream has never taken an unexpected turn.
Yeah.
All right.
Not that I want to share with anybody.
Next question.
How's that?
Those challenges will help you grow as they make you step out of your comfort zone. How do you ensure that you will get out of your comfort zone? How do you ensure that you will get out of your comfort zone?
I don't know how I ensure it, but I mean, every day, pretty much, I'm out of my comfort zone because I put myself different situations, but insuring it, I want to say I go with the flow in a lot of respects, and things pop up in front of me.
If you were to do a beard, you'd look more like Mel Gibson right now.
If I did a full beard?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I looked like it the other day because I hadn't shaved in since last Friday, so I was looking pretty good.
Hey, Jen Krejci.
Good morning.
Unexpected turn. Not being able to conceive a child and went through IVF journey. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow.
And it got a kid that's incredible. Right? Yeah. That's beautiful. Deep thoughts with Scott Giles.
Yeah. Chirp, chirp, chirp.
All right.
Yeah.
How do you ensure that you will get out of your comfort zone?
The only thing that I do to ensure it is that I push myself when I question things, or I'll come up with an idea and go, I'll start throwing all the different cons at it right away. And I'll be like, well, that's even more reason to do it, because what your brain is saying is if there's a lot of problems, or it's going to be more problem ridden. But for me, that's a challenge. That's a challenge.
Good show, just talking to the microphone. Don says, best way to get outside your comfort zone, have a close friend that makes you go there, drags you there, perhaps.
Like keeping an accountability partner.
Jen says, ensure getting out of comfort zone, have that child. True. The things we do for our kids. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
For Kent, just bring a bird into the bed. Hey,
we were just talking about that too.
That's true, man. I got three phobias. One is heights, one is confined spaces, and the other is birds. I don't like any of those three. Right. If I'm in a plane, that's okay, because like my feet, you know what I'm saying. But if I'm on the side of a mountain, I don't like that. And I can't do confined, like watching. I get anxiety watching people go squeezing into caves and stuff.
Oh, really? The spelunkers? Yeah, that's insane. That makes my anxiety ramp right up.
And anything with a bird, unless it's deep fried or on the grill. Move towards your fears rather than away from them. Ensures that you get out of your comfort zone. How do I ensure that I get out of my comfort zone?
Wake up every day.
Yeah. I don't.
You push
I guess
every day.
I guess just keep trying and keep trying things. If you don't, buy a motorcycle. That'll get you out of your comfort zone, because it's one of the most freeing things and scary things all at the same time. Because at any time you're going to die.
Well, yeah, just like anything else. And it's, are we going to wake up tomorrow? Right. I mean, and that's one of the things for me, ensuring, that I'm blessed every day that I wake up, right? I don't know that I'm going to wake up tomorrow. And when people give you shit for doing all this stuff, and it's for me, so a part of it is, I ensure, because I realize that my time on this, blue marble is definitely limited. So I definitely push myself, and I put myself out of my comfort zone. So that's ensuring that, I'm pushing forward. And if you're not, what are you going to do? Sit around and wallow? I'm comfortable. It's when you're comfortable and sit back. No, for me, that's death. That's instant death, right? So me getting up just every day and doing what does scare me. Part of the reason that I'm such an adrenaline junkie, right, is because of that. Ensure just getting out, doing my shit.
I like that you think you're an adrenaline junkie.
I am. You don't think so?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't. You enjoy doing things that to get that. I don't think you're a junkie though, because you. Here's an adrenaline junkie. I went and worked on the house. I sat back on my deck. I ate some gummies and listened to some cool, easy listening music. Yep, that's an adrenaline junkie, Scott.
Who did that?
That's your day to day.
Not at all.
What did you do yesterday to get your adrenaline pumping?
If the cops are listening, nothing. But if they weren't, I was having so much, for whatever reason yesterday, the roads were slippery as hell. Yep. I was drifting my truck. I went out for like a 45-minute ride just to clear my head and think some things out. Took the track control off my truck and just went into a parking lot, was doing figure eight donut. I was having a good old time. And that shit gets my adrenaline pumping. You know what I mean?
Good for you.
And yeah.
I don't think you're a junkie though.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe I'm not a junkie, but I do definitely enjoy it because it definitely makes me appreciate life.
Yeah, well, I think a junkie, you're trying to do something crazy every day, right? I don't think you do.
Yeah, I don't do it every day,
Right,
but I definitely.
that's why I'm saying that.
Junkie. Okay, yeah, but I mean, I definitely I get your point, but yeah,
no, you do a lot of things that are I wouldn't do.
I feel most alive when I'm challenging myself.
Yeah.
In that way, right? Plus, I mean, life is about experiences. So,
That's right.
I mean, I can definitely give you some good experiences, and I've got life-changing ones. Back to that other question, but there's just a few that the ones that really matter. I just really don't feel like sharing with people.
I don't know, Don. I don't get too far out of my my comfort zone. I do things to irritate people, and that people look at me and go, "Whew, I couldn't do that." So I live outside of other people's comfort zones, but I'm not a big. My comfort zone's pretty big.
You try to push people out of their comfort zone, right?
Yeah,
and that's poking the bear thing.
Get them out. Yeah.
Right.
I don't get out of mine.
And same with me too. I mean, with all the questions that I ask people and how I am, right? I mean, I guess deep down, you're really making people.
I lead a very white privileged life, and I don't push those boundaries.
Yeah, right.
All right. Dreams make you take chances, but chances can bring more opportunities. How do you know if the chance is a true opportunity? How do you know? All right.
I mean, a chance is a chance. You don't. I mean, obviously situational again, but I mean, you don't. But you have that feeling, the gut instinct that Don was talking about earlier, and you run with it. I mean, you're never going to succeed unless you take a shot, right? I mean, you've got to go for it. So you got to take that chance. And every day we talk about this. I fail nonstop, right? I'm hoping at the end of the day that I at least get one success over failure, right? And I've at least done more good than bad because, I mean, let's face it, we're human. We do bad every day and we try to do good. But yeah, I mean, yeah. I got nothing else.
Yeah, I don't. I think the only time that the chance is a true opportunity is when you get back and you look and you go, yep, that was a good opportunity for me to take. Sometimes you get at the end of it and go, that was a stupid chance I took. Right. While you're in it,
did you learn something from it? Did you grow from it?
Yeah.
I mean,
while you're in it, I don't know if you can tell. You can tell. Chance is an opportunity if it sounds and feels exciting to you. Yeah. That's why I say you take a chance, and some of those chances end up being great opportunities, but you never know. I think until you get to the finish line and look back and go, that was a great opportunity.
Right. I'm happy I took the chance. Yeah. Right. I mean, it's an emotional thing, but you got to get out of your comfort zone no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because for me, what fun is it being the same person all the time and not growing and not changing and not learning? Yeah. I mean, granted, we have our core selves, but
100% agree, Don. Don says, by definition, it is a chance. May or may not be an opportunity until you take a shot. A chance. Yep. I agree with everybody there. Yeah. And again, if you are just tuning in right now, big shout out to our friends over at Natural Therapy Wellness Center, www.mchenrymmassage.com. 815-385-8190, and our good friends at JH Events and Flowers. JH Events and Flowers for all of your floral needs, for your he shed items, for your she shed items. They've just got a cool right now in 2 locations, one here in McHenry, the other across from the train station in Fox Lake, or check them out at www.jhevents.
Yeah, really good people over there. Great flowers, great stuff.
Yep.
And as far as natural therapy wellness,
616.
Natural therapy wellness, awesome. I'm actually going to book myself a massage with them now that I'm done.
There you go.
So I'm going to take a chance on that one and see how it works out for me.
Question number 7. We're halfway through. We're only on question number 7. We got to move faster. Afraid of it. Afraid of it. Good. Being afraid makes you feel more alive. So smash through that brick wall of fear. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. How do you know when you have made too many mistakes? How do you know when to cut bait?
Interesting. It's obviously situational, but when you're not moving forward towards what your original plan was, and things are starting to fail. It's a day-by-day assessment for me to cut bait. What's the goal, and what's what do you start out with? What are you trying to get to, and are you getting anywhere close to it? And it's for that one, it's a total situational decision, because I mean, when do you cut your losses, right? I mean, how quickly do you do it? Do you hold on? I mean, and that's I'm trying to think of something specific that I could really bring into that, but I can't really. Because I'm kind of stubborn in a way. I mean, if I have a plan and an idea, I kind of want to keep going to have that come to fruition.
Cappuccino says, when you have tried everything and didn't get a different result, so insanity, right? You keep doing and doing and doing. And I agree. I think only time will tell, right? Yeah. When do you know you've made too many mistakes? Usually 30 minutes after a conversation with me. You figured that out. Seek wise counsel. Ask, am I just crazy continuing to chase this? And in lies the mistake of seeking wise counsel.
Well, I mean, that's a very important thing in any part of your life, right? Is having, I'm going to use the word mentor, or somebody that you can talk to and, push your ideas off back and forth. I mean, it's really important to have a third set of eyes really look at something and go, hey, am I not seeing this clearly? Help me, like you always say, help me understand. So you might be blind to what's really going on, and pulling someone else in and saying, hey, this is where you at, and take that into account. But as far as what Drew says, when you have to try everything, and if you're not getting a different result, I mean, that's pretty obvious. You're banging your head against the wall, right? And you're not making any progress. I mean, so that's, if you know that you're not going anywhere, it's, I mean, when is, I guess, when you're frustrated, and it's just not making sense anymore, because a lot of times people will give up on their dreams and stuff too soon, right? They're right at the precipice of breaking through to happen it, and it's
stop digging. They stop right before they hit the oil, right?
Right, because they just get so frustrated. So that for me is a hard one, because I mean, I'm persistent and I dig in, right? And that's for me, for me, I appreciate when people say, "Hey, dude, what are you doing?" Right? Have you thought about it this way? And that's my wife. My wife and my kids will play devil's advocate, be like, what's going on? Why are you doing that? And it's like, well, this is what I'm at. And I'm stubborn, obviously. You know me pretty well. I want to get something done. I want to get it done right. So,
well, Tim says maybe when the desire to overcome those mistakes is no longer there. Yeah, that might be it. Like, all right, it is what it is. I guess I'm stuck with him the rest of my life. I mean, Jen says, do you ever notice being physically stopped from continuing a path? I think if we keep chasing the wrong path, spirit will eventually physically stop you as a warning, an accident, for example. Something in the universe, she says, is gonna trip you up, right?
Yeah, no, I'd say, I mean,
hey, come on in, Don. We'd love to have you.
Come on in.
So, when do you cut bait? Here's what I believe. I believe you don't know when to cut bait. I believe somebody comes in and says, Jesus, you're going to keep hitting your head against the wall? When's that going to stop? I think it has to be an outside force to tell people, like, what are you, an idiot? Well, you need to stop.
Well, yes and no. I mean, let's take example. You switching, right? Positions.
Yeah.
I mean, what brought you to that, right? I mean, that was an outside, I'm assuming, conversation, right?
Sure.
Right. You decided just let it go.
No,
right?
That was an outside. That was an outside decision.
It was.
Absolutely.
Well, I know.
Alice and I talked about
between you and your wife, right?
That's what I mean.
Right.
That's what I mean. I think we as humans will keep trying. I think it's in our DNA. We'll just get, the little engine that could. I'll get up. And then finally somebody from the outside goes, what are you, an idiot? How long are you going to fail at this?
Right.
Why do you keep doing this? Right.
Well, a lot of times
we go to quote unquote therapists so that they can tell us, you need to stop doing this. Why are you, an idiot? Why do you keep doing this?
Right. Well, we're too close to the project a lot of times, right? And that's why we'll look to the outside counsel, like your wife or our wives or friends, be like, hey, am I seeing this wrong? Right? What am I missing? Right? And it might be a stupid, simple thing that you're not seeing. Be like, why are you doing this? Have you not looked at it from this standpoint?
That's why I say I don't think we know when to stop. I think somebody comes up and tells us, you might want to go right here instead of continuing forward.
In some situations, definitely. In other, I mean, it depends on, but I mean, it's once again situational. But I definitely, I encourage and love the outside influence from people. Some people I'd like to just smack when they give you that comment, but then the ones that usually upset you the most sometimes are the ones you're like, oh shit, you know what I mean? You dig a little bit deeper and think about it a little bit more, because why did that irritate you so much, right? It's like, maybe it's hitting home. Maybe they really know what they're talking about, and you're just trying to fool yourself, because a lot of times people do that. Oh no, I'm right. They're wrong.
There you go, Don.
They can't see the forest through the trees.
I found you.
Hey, good morning, buddy. How are you?
I just read your comment. Thought I'd repost it.
I found it after I asked you to post it. So I'm a little slow this morning, which is not unusual. So good morning, everybody.
All right.
Our roads aren't slick, Scott. It's going to be 86 today. I just thought I'd share that. Our roads aren't very slick today.
Well, I could make them slick. I mean, I could spin my tires on dry path.
I hear you.
My truck was so slick.
And I need to go back a couple of questions when you talked about how you like to poke the bear and irritate people, Kent. And I put a note up that says, I don't think you have to try very hard to irritate people. I don't think that's
it's natural in his repertoire.
It comes natural for him, doesn't it, Scott?
Yeah. Hey, a lot of people like to suck on lemons. It still gives them a sour face.
Amen.
My granddaughter does that.
You know what I'm saying?
She does it again.
I'm the human lemon in people's lives.
No, you are a good poke the bear-er.
You know, it's not even. Yeah, you're the lemon, but see, I appreciate people like you. Obviously, sometimes you get people like when we do stuff like that, poking the bear gets annoying. But it's also those things that, it makes you look at things differently. It makes you think about it, right? Because you're out of your comfort zone. Right. Some people like to poke you back in the face, but
it alleviates a lot of people reaching out to me for advice, because they know like, fuck, I don't.
You find out who can take it too, right? Can't you find out who can take it and give it back? Because I think you and I share that trait, and I think for you and I, it's actually kind of fun rather than an irritant. It's not an irritant. It's kind of enjoyable. But some people don't like to do it. That's outside of other people's comfort zone big times.
The nice thing about it, though, is, like for me and Kent, when he says something to me, even though he's poking the bear, for me, I appreciate it, because it makes me think about things a little bit differently. And he's doing it out of love, most likely.
Never.
That's what he wants you to think, Scott. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for somebody to step up to Scott and tell him to cut bait, me being the bait, right?
Yeah. God brought you into my life for some reason, my friend.
Yeah, Scott, how long are you going to continue this mistake called Kent, right?
Hey, Cappuccino says Kent is part of my daily entertainment. Speaking of daily entertainment, today at noon, we've got the Digital Boss Boardroom with Bobby Bainey. She's going to be going over how to properly use ChatGPT and AI for your small business. That's going to be a good one. And then, of course, In the Know with Steph and Joe today at 3, another live one, and talking about punishments as a business owner. You give people a punishment or whatever, and how effective is that to achieve the bottom line?
That'd be an interesting one to listen to.
Good
what
stuff.
I mean?
And then if you are a fan of wrestling this weekend, both on Saturday evening and Sunday evening, the Rejects are going to be here for Reject Mania 4. They'll be streaming WrestleMania. We won't see it, but we'll see their reaction to it. So it's going to be a reaction party to WrestleMania. Reject Mania 4, basically I think it starts. I think they're starting like at 7 and going to midnight or something each night. I mean, that's great. It's gonna be fun for them. And just tune in.
I just never.
I just scroll and pop back in, because they do a great job.
Yeah.
All right. Next question: how important is it to demonstrate a genuine interest in people, and how do you do that? So, how important is it to demonstrate a genuine interest in people, and how do you do that?
I mean, how important is it to have if you like the person and want to get to know them, it's pretty important to do that. I mean, to want to ask questions. I mean, and that's, for me, I'm very inquisitive, right? If I want to get to know you, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. My issue is I have to be cautious, because I'm kind of an open book when I meet somebody and I have that good energy and I really want to get to know them, right? I have overshared, but I'll just ask questions, just straight up.
So you think genuine interest is important, and you do that by asking questions?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
how else do I get to know you? How else do I get to know?
That's
what you are, where
your
you're
general interest is this 20 questions that we're doing today. Right? I mean, that's right. Hey,
Well,
I'm curious. Hey,
I mean, you don't
so
get
what do
to
you
know
do?
somebody without asking
How
them
long have you been doing
questions.
it?
Right.
Right.
I mean, they're right, but I mean, I don't. How do you get to know somebody? How did you get to know your wife? You asked you asked her questions. You figured out who she was, and figured out if that's the person you wanted to be with or not be with.
No, I thought she had nice boobies.
Still talk to her.
I mean,
So that's the only thing that's kept you together with her for this many years.
That was some genuine interest on your part.
Genuine interest. Then. That's some stick to it.
Yeah.
You have great boobies. I don't want to know your name, where you live, what you like. Just
Hey,
let me see your
listen.
boobs. That's it.
Listen, as Don would say down there in Texas, I wanted to put my brand on.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Never mind.
Yeah, we say that all the time down here.
How else are you supposed to show interest in somebody?
Don, how important is it to demonstrate genuine interest in people, and how do you do that?
Well, I would go to the questions thing too, because I think you demonstrate interest by asking people to share about themselves. I mean, if you're talking about yourself, you're not sharing interest in someone else. And for me personally, yeah, I think it is important to show interest in others, because you never know when you might be meeting someone for the first time that could become somebody very special in your life. And if you don't demonstrate the interest or actually genuinely be interested in them, those opportunities might fly right by you. You never have that opportunity. And I think if you ask some questions, you can usually find out pretty quickly if it's somebody you want to continue to be genuinely interested in.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bob, welcome in again. Pop says, listen actively and attentively to others.
I agree with that one.
That's hard to do in today's world.
Yeah, you got to listen. If you ask them a question, you definitely got to listen to their answer, right? So you can figure out what they're into. I mean, and that's the only way you get to know somebody and assess the situation. I mean, you ask somebody a few questions. I mean, why? I don't want to say waste your time, but why waste your time if they're not? So here's in your same realm.
I know some people who are very awkward with conversation. So all they do is ask questions, and I'm like, this fucking idiot.
Because they don't know what to say otherwise, you mean?
They ask me questions. I'm like, this guy is awkward and stupid. Oh God, right? You literally don't have a thought, or you don't think that I'm capable of speaking your language, whatever, right? I like the actively and attentively listening, but to me,
that'll keep you married.
But for me, how important is it? Very important. Very, very. I show genuine interest in a lot of people, probably more than I should. But to me, how do I do that? Time spent.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend time with you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If I find you interesting, we're going to spend a lot of time together. I'm going to get to know. That's the only way to get to know someone. I'm not going to sit there and be like this. How important? No.
Taking notes, yeah.
Or texting them back and forth. Yeah.
What's your favorite car? Right? No.
Right.
To me, questions are irritating and very, 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 very 30,000 foot levelly. So to me, it's our relationship wouldn't be as genuine if we didn't spend time together. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
My relationship with Cappuccino, with my crate cheese, because time spent. I think you show genuine interest. Time spent, right? Because the first few times spent, you're like, this is awkward and uncomfortable, and man, Hightower, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So he belches. He's 6'9" and he belches like a polar bear.
Yeah.
And he does that. The kind of the first time you meet him, and you're like,
I'm out. Like, what's up with that?
And if I didn't spend time with him, I would go, that guy. Oh my God, that was awkward and weird.
When you're spending the time, you can kind of see the person, get to know how they act and how they move and stuff. But you also still have the conversations, right? And then the conversations, those questions will, you'll pose questions to them to understand. I mean, like when he did that, I'm like, dude, you feel all right? That's my question, right?
I didn't know you knew Bubba Smith, the Hightower. I didn't know you knew him.
Yeah.
I wonder if anybody just got that reference right there. Does anybody get that reference? You do, don't you?
Yeah. It was a good series of movies.
Yeah. Academy, baby.
All right. Next question. What permission do you need or want to move forward? What permission do you need or want to move forward?
Not who, what.
What permission do you need or want to move forward?
Well, my immediate thought on that one was there's some things that are small enough. I don't know if you necessarily need permission. There are some things you need permission for, or you go to jail. So my immediate thought was on small things. I mean, it's, again, it might be simply just, hey, if you don't mind me asking, blah, blah, blah. It might be the way of asking for permission. And I think you always give people the opportunity to, because I'm one of those people, once I get talking to somebody, I'll ask you just about anything. But we'll also say, if you don't have to answer anything I ask you, because I just like to get to know people pretty quickly. And some people are not good at that. But I think it just depends on what you're needing or wanting permission for could vary so widely based on whatever that is. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, maybe Scott's got some other thoughts on that, but that one I find very situational.
That's 100. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It is very situational. I mean, I give myself permission every day to be an idiot. I mean, that's, or to be,
should write that on your
giggle at that one, but I give myself permission to
honk. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, honk. I'm an idiot.
You are smart enough to give yourself permission to be an idiot.
Right?
You were thinking it, Kent. I said.
But I mean.
Now my comment, or the way that I will answer that, will irritate Pops. Right. So. Yeah. So
that's good. It'll make him think about shit different ways.
So I apologize for irritating you already. I don't need permission, nor do I want permission to move forward. I need support. Right. I need my wife to go, I got your back. Right. Now I say that'll irritate Pops because he's like, that is permission, dumbass. Right. But he'll say it more eloquently. But the truth is, I do things and then ask for forgiveness. Right. That's the way I push forward through life.
Right.
I'm not looking for permission, nor do I need it.
Yep.
But if it's a big life altering, life changing, or whatever, I need support. I need to know that Alice is, and as long as Alice has got my back.
Yeah, but if she's supporting you, she's giving you the permission.
Right. That's what I just said. Didn't you just hear the sentence?
Right. Well, all right.
Jesus.
I was going to go somewhere with.
Remember that? Yeah, that attentive. Remember that attentive listening comment earlier?
Well, I mean, but kind of the way I took it was giving myself permission, right, to do my things. Okay. I wasn't looking at it from outside.
You need self permission.
Yes. For me, okay. I mean, and I'm looking for outside as well.
That's the permission that you need.
Right. Well,
self permission.
Well, yeah. I mean,
okay. I kind of agree with that because you're evaluating if I'm going to, I don't know, whatever that push a boundary with somebody or whatever, you are kind of evaluating for yourself. But I think, Kent, to your point, and I think you might share this, is that I'm not going to do something that's really drastic without permission, but they're going to be smaller things. And one of the ways that you find out people that are interesting or not interesting, and we've talked about this a lot without talking about peanut butter or politics, is just when little things trigger other people. That's a real quick signal for me to say not interesting, not going any further, and I'm not going to take any more permission. So I think if it's a big thing, you should actually ask for permission. If it's just little stuff and you're just interacting with someone and someone gets all offended, because we deal with people looking to be offended every day. To me, that's just a signal from someone, if just on small things.
I had to giggle at that one.
Listen,
you're not wrong at all.
Listen, we've got some exciting news here at 10 to the top of the hour. Yeah. Is our Friday lineup's going to be changing a little bit here in the future. And the Art of Leveling Up with Cappuccino is going to be running every other Friday, right? Which is going to be cool. And that's a really, really cool show. The Art of Leveling Up, not just your life, your business, your relationships. Incredible show that's going to be coming every other Friday. On the other side of that, believe it or not, for those of you who have been with 216 the Net and 216 Creator Studios for a long, long time. Every other Friday behind the Art of Leveling Up will be What's in Your Loaf 2.0. 2.0. We rise.
What's in your loaf?
So, right, get that rise loaf. What is in your loaf 2.0? We rise again.
You're just doing that to get free baked goods, aren't you?
I hope, yeah, I hope so, right?
He's got permission from the wife to eat the junk.
2.0. And let me tell you, it is going to be even more hysterical. It is going to be more interactive. It's going to be crazy. And every week we'll give a little homage to our good friend Uncle Pete.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep. Stay tuned for that. Starting here, probably within the next month or so, we'll be doing that. So, very, very excited about that. Some good shows, and that is, and let me tell you, What's in Your Loaf 2.0, We Rise Again, is that show which will have a serious disclaimer. If you're easily offended, don't listen.
Don't show up.
If you don't
That's
have
the show to watch.
If you don't have a sense of humor, don't listen.
Yeah.
And
Trigger alert, huh?
Yeah, we will have that right up front. And if you're an idiot, we give you permission to not listen. That's the permission that you're looking for. All right. But we're excited about that. Both shows are going to be killer on Friday. So right around 9:30, 10 o'clock ish, 10ish. It's going to be awesome. So hang in there because it's going to be cool. All right.
These questions are really stretching my brain this so early in the morning. We need to move the show to like 12 where I'm awake.
Good thing your hands are on top of the table when you say stretching your brain. Listen, here we go. How different would your life be if there weren't any criticism in the world? How different?
Wow.
Life be
Dude,
if there weren't any
question.
criticism in the world?
That's an unending question for me. My life would be hugely different.
Very full of negative consequences.
For me, the criticism has been a lot of motivators for me. You get people, why'd you do that? Because I wanted to do it, right? Or somebody looks at me and criticizes a judgment I made, and then I justify it to myself, or I think about it through myself, and either go, yeah, they're right, and change my path, or nope, and keep forging forward. So criticism to me is how it's brought to me is different, right? You can criticize my decisions and stuff like that, but if it's a genuine criticism, it's good. But you get the haters that are always, making shitty statements. But if I get criticized from people that I look up to and I know that are, smarter than me, that drives me. That makes me think about things. So criticism's huge for me. I would not be where I'm at right now without people criticizing, what I've done, or even in some respects who I am, right? Or who I'm coming off as to people. You know what I mean? It makes it when something like that happens, it makes me look a little bit deeper inside. So yeah, it's definitely helped mold my life.
Good thing you're shallow and it's not a big dig. I love you. I had
my God!
You put
there's some feedback.
Hello, Hal. Remember that movie?
Oh, I did. So you're calling me shallow? No, but I don't think. I think that's plays a big role in a lot of people's lives, right? When somebody says something that's not necessarily what you want to hear, it's going to make you look at something. It's going to hopefully make you look at it from a different standpoint, right? Why did you say that?
Yeah.
Are you really right, or are you just an idiot, right?
So to me, how different would my life be if there weren't any criticism in the world? Incredibly, it would be the Garden of Eden, right? Because you have said it. Everybody says that we're our own worst critic. If that criticism was not in the world, my life would be absolutely splendidly perfect, more perfect than it is now, right? And I would never second guess. I probably wouldn't be fat. You know what I mean? There would be, right? I wouldn't have eaten because of my feelings. I wouldn't have drank because of my feelings, and the little voice inside, right? But at the same time, that's what keeps me honest. That's what keeps me off balance. That's what keeps me who I am. So it would be way, way different if there was no criticism in the world, and I have to include my own. And that's just the truth of the matter. Right.
Well, your own critic. Yeah. Us being our own worst critic is definitely hard, but I was looking at it from an outside standpoint, right? Not so inside. I mean, I could definitely do without a lot of the criticism I give myself, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
all right. Last question. Here we go.
Uh-oh, we hit 20 already. Holy
last
shit.
question. No, it's all that we got time for. Last question. Here we go. We're always making choices. Are you choosing for your story or for someone else's?
Well, that's easy. I mean, that's a situational thing. Even though I'm making my choices for my story and my life, I have to take into account what the effects of that choice are going to be, you know, for the ones closest and nearest and dearest to me. If you're not inside my family, right, then basically I don't give a fuck for the most part if you're not my immediate family. I try to think about those things, but.
So you're still making choices for your family?
No, I'm not making choices for my family. I'm making choices that I make can be for my family or to benefit the family, not to tell them what to do. I try to offer suggestions.
No, that's a choice, right?
Right,
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would suggest what you're saying is you're still making choices for yourself, but your choices are influenced by the impact it has on others, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. But
Exactly.
but I think we do make choices. I mean, we have to own our own choices, no matter how we came about to making those choices. But you certainly have influencers in terms of how you make those decisions and how you make those choices. So I get what you're saying there, and and I also feel the love from you there after that statement, by the way. But yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's one of the things I think we sometimes lose track of. No matter what influences our choices, it's still our choice. And I think we would all agree that I'd love it if all of us, myself included, would always own our choices rather than making excuses for our choices sometimes. And kind of goes back to this criticism,
that's a human nature thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just think it's always our choice, but we are influenced by others, and there's nothing wrong because you're taking into consideration the people that you love in your life and what impacts your choices will have on them. Because let's face it, as dumb guys, we'd probably make some pretty stupid choices if we didn't consider the impact on others.
Oh my God!
Not maybe, we would, right?
Could you imagine?
Yeah. The way that I would answer that is I would answer that by saying this: I don't think it's an either or; it's a both and in my life, right? I do make choices for my story, but I also make them. I mean, when you're in business with people, when you're a parent, when you're a spouse, when you're a friend, I think you're making choices for somebody else's story too. I think you just have to be wise enough to understand which is which, and it's not that either one is bad,
right?
And I think the gist of the question was, are you making more choices for your story instead of trying to direct somebody else's, right? I think if you're doing life right.
That depends on your life, where you're at in life. If you got kids, you're making a lot of choices for them.
If you're doing life right, it's a both and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think it's got to balance that out and see that kind of like what you said too, Don.
Yeah, making choices and not being controlling, though, right? You can make choices for them and help push them toward, like if you're talking family, like with your daughter. You can't choose to go to school without a jacket on, right? You're choosing
not wrapped up in a blanket. She ain't homeless.
Right. That's what I mean, right? So
we ain't wrapping up in a blanket.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Just something real quick that I read this week that I'm going to share before we jump off the air. Appreciate everybody spending a little bit of their Friday morning with us here on the grounds and hanging out at 216 Creator Studios. And it says, "Why pause?" ? It does good things for your soul. When you pause and listen, you notice your surroundings. Mm-hmm. This noticing gives you a taste of how small you are in the grand scheme of things. You sense the wonder of things around you. A small chipmunk bustles by to say hello to you and quietly scurries on by as your attention returns to your center, your breath, your own complex life. Pausing to take notice of your life creates a sense of gratitude. You notice your lungs filling with air, feel your heartbeat within your chest. You become more thankful for those simple bodily functions we so often take for granted. The gratitude increases your focus on the good things in your lives, and you savor your blessings more readily. In pausing, you savor moments. It's like you emotionally hold a favorite flavor in your mouth that creates an involuntary that escapes your lips. These pausing moments change us, refresh us, and empower us. What I'm going to ask is take time over the next few days, over the next few weeks to pause and let that escape your lips. For all of us here, 216 The Net Creator Studios, thanks for joining the grounds. Make today blessed. Have a kick-ass weekend. Today at 8 Central. Check out our good friend Caitlin Clark as she goes up against UConn. It's going to be a game for the ages. Incredible young lady. And come back around high noon for our good friend Bobby Bainey and Digital Boss.
Hey, thanks for tuning in today, guys. We really appreciate you stopping in and giving us a little bit of your time. You know, two guys talking, having a good time on Fridays, just sharing those fun things that we enjoy in life and all those situations that we're not so sure about. We appreciate your input. Thanks for stopping in, and we'll see you next week.